Hey you! I have this totally original idea to play 100 days of hardcore Minecraft, but I'm not allowed to sleep. Does it change much about the game? No. Does it give me an excuse to play 33 hours and 1/3 of an hour of Minecraft? Yes. Will it give me an existential crisis? Why not? Will I regret wasting so much time just to get one view on the internet? Absolutely. So the rules are simple. Can't die, can't sleep, can't cheat, can't vibe to the Minecraft beat. That's really the bread and butter of any hardcore challenge. Before we start, please leave a like and subscribe. This project took me 40 days to make and cost me over 100 hours. Please leave your sub. Ease my suffering. On day 0 I awoke on a beach and I made a dirt cross to save the location of the spawn chunk. I get some wood, food and dig into a cliff for a temporary home where I stay for the first night in this new world. As day 1 rolls around, I have already decided that this spawn isn't the place I want to build, and I venture out into the unknown. During the day I find a ruined portal with some good old loot, but as night rolls around I enter a cave and just mine until sunrise. On day 2 I emerge out of my cave to find a swamp. This is very good news, cause it will give me lots of diamonds through a feature in world generation. When you're in a swamp, you can look at the clay patches to find diamonds by counting 6 blocks in positive Z direction from the center of the clay patch and dig straight down. Guaranteed works like 85% of the time. So the rest of day 2 and all of day 3 and 4 are filled with digging straight down towards those juicy diamonds. On day 5 I mine the last of my diamonds and craft all the diamond tools and armor I'll need for the rest of these 100 days. I decide to move away from my mining swamp to find a village. I run day and night till I end up in a boat watching the sunrise of day 6. On day 6 I rove through the ocean till I find a shipwreck. I find a buried treasure map and loot the treasure. I continue the journey on land till I find a village in the middle of the night and set up camp. On day 7 I go into the village and secure every villager in a house. I start chopping some trees around the house I have rented and I place some torches around it to prevent mob spawning. I spent the rest of the night in the mines mining for coal which I had run out of. On day 8 I return out of the caves to start the construction of my village base. I make a wooden fence around my house and lit up all the surrounding area to protect against mobs. I spent the night making some farms like sugarcane and crops to prepare for villager trading, which is essential if I want to get mending on all my tools and armor. On day 9 I expand the farms and I gather some nearby cows for my cow farm. At night I start transporting some villagers into my newly constructed dirt basement. This shall be the new place where I'll get unbelievably rich off the rent of my new tenants. On day 10 I collect 2 more villagers out of their old stinky homes and move them into my new dirty basement. I also go for a walk, which was the best decision I've ever made because I returned with a dog. His name is Richard and you cannot do anything about that. Back in the basement, me and one of the villagers have a dispute on what block he should stand on for the rest of his life. On day 11 I do nothing more than expand my farms. The only exciting thing that happens was a couple phantoms who kept harassing me all night. On day 12 I just keep going at the farming work till nightfall, where 4 phantoms spawn and force me into my own home. I spent the night digging a room far under the cow farm for the nether portal. Those moves haunt my nightmares. I finished the day off by mining enough obsidian for a portal, an ender chest and an enchantment table. When I emerge out of the caves on day 13, I go back to my life as a good old boring farmer. Once night falls, I go to my house and make my enchantment table. It doesn't have enough books for level 30, but that doesn't really matter. I end the night by discovering a mine shaft with a cave spider spawner, a good project to start on soon. On day 14, what feels like days of torture, I breed my cows for the last time and leave the babies alive, unlike Anakin Skywalker and the younglings in Revenge of the Sith. This fresh slaughter and the days of farming does give me enough materials to finally finish a full enchantment table. And the first enchantment is fortune. This day can't get any better! On day 15, I see that the younglings have grown up. So it's time for some more slaughter. I spent the rest of the day doing some farm work. At night I paint a banner for my shield. It looks pretty neat. On day 16 I have another fight with a villager. He escaped his room and started wandering around my base. Eventually I got him in one spot and made him trade all the mending books I need. I spent the rest of the day acquiring emeralds for the books. Day 17 is more of the same. I spend most of the day farming for profit, but at night I start construction of my spider farm. This will bring me lots of XP and profit. On day 18 I mostly keep on farming for emeralds, and when the sun is about to rise on day 19 there's just one more mending book to go. On day 19 I gather last of the carrots and paper and trade them in for emeralds. With these last few emeralds I'm finally able to buy myself the last mending book I need. I spent the rest of the day down at the spider spawner and sort of finish it, but it has some problems. These problems are a big annoyance and it brings down the efficiency of the farm. On day 20, after being very angry at the inefficiency of the farm, I overhaul the design and make it properly function. I spent the rest of the day working up to level 30 to enchant a new item, which is Silk Touch Pickets, aka the best friend of any Minecraft player. Day 21 till the morning of day 26 is fully spent underground at the spider spawner. I made the decision on day 21 to not step a foot outside till I had fully enchanted my diamond armor and tools. So I picked up the enchantment table and moved it to the spider farm. I spent most of the days looking on my phone and killing some spiders. I enchant one item after the other till I finish enchanting the last one on day 24. Already being there at the spider spawner, I decide to heal some of my tools before heading back up to the surface. On day 26, I escape the web-filled spider farm and start farming some crops. I start trading in my gathered materials for those sweet green popsicles. The need for enchantment books for my armor and tools make me move 2 of my tenants to the spots of doom. They will be standing on these spots of doom for the rest of their lives. Disclaimer, no sitting or sleeping allowed. On day 27, I move another village into the spot of doom. Don't the spots of doom look nice? All that dirt around you. I wish I had that much space in my house. On day 28, another village is being moved into the spot of doom. For the 3 trades, I also added some Unbreaking 3 books to my tools down at the spider farm. On day 29, I go down to the spider farm and AFK for a little while. On day 30, I farm some more crops and buy the last Unbreaking book for my tools and armor, so I go down to the spider farm to add it onto my armor. I end the day off by watching the sunrise of day 31. On day 31, I do some more boring farming. Yes, I know, more farming. Don't judge me, I need more emeralds. I have the biggest fight of my life with a villager. A baby villager escaped during it. I really was so close to committing genocide on these bitches. After the rage of day 31, I move on to day 32. I move more villages into the spot of doom. To be honest, they all deserve it. More farming, yes, I need those emeralds. I finished the day off at the spider farm for some upgrades for my armor. On day 33, I farm some more. I'm really getting sick of it now, but I need more emeralds for my armor and tools, so I'm stuck in this cycle. On day 34, I start down at the spider farm to add a book to my boots. I go up for some more farming. I'm really beginning to hate this farmer's life. On day 35, I'm once again down at the spider farm to get some more upgrades for my armor. I end the day off by farming and moving a villager into the spot of doom. On day 36, I farm some more. What a shocker, I know. I follow it up by painfully long breaking and placing a lectern, all of it in search of looting 3. But efficiency 5 pops up, and it's too good to pass up. So I trap another villager and go back at it again. I keep going all the way into day 37. On day 37 I get Thorns 3 on a villager, another thing I need for my armor, so I move another villager away from their friends and family into the developing row of doom. That night I finally get the looting 3 trade and I add it onto my sword. I spent the rest of the night preparing for my invasion into the nether. On day 38 I'm finally ready to go into the nether. And I spawn right next to a fortress right above a lava lake. Well, high risk, high reward is what they say. After I encounter some angry piglins, I retreat into the overworld to get some materials to make my portal a bit safer. I spent the rest of the day mining quartz and gold and trading it away to piglins. I even find a loose piece of ancient debris hidden behind some gold. On day 39 I mine some more quartz and gold and follow up by doing some more piglin trading. I also finally have the courage to take on the nether fortress. I immediately set my eyes on the blaze spawner and try to make a box around it, so I can grind some more blaze rods. I spent the rest of the day grinding away at the blazes until I have a little more than a stack on me. On day 40 I further explore the nether fortress, mainly to find netherwort whilst avoiding the wither skeletons at all cost. These types of skeletons can trap you with no way out and can kill you before you even know you're dead, even with OP gear. Eventually I find the netherwort and I can leave the fortress without a close encounter with one or more wither skeletons. The last thing I do in the nether is trade with a piglin before returning to the overworld. Before the night is over I mine out a room where I can quickly make a netherwort farm. Day 41, I start the construction of a second sugarcane farm. They shall soon be able to feed me more emeralds than I need for books. At night, I clear some mobs out I could hear from my storage room and follow up with some brewing. I step outside to find a zombie raid, so I slaughter them just for the funsies. On day 42, I find that I have no brown mushrooms. This means I'm not able to make fermented spider eye, something I need for making my tenants pay more rent. So I go out exploring for one brown mushroom. On the way I find a weird enderman holding a flower, so I put it in a boat. I run all day till I find the single mushroom I need, so I sprint back home. At night I plant a big spruce tree so I can use the pot soil to grow big mushrooms so I can farm them. This whilst phantoms keep harassing me all night. At the end of the night I'm finally able to brew the potions. I quickly trap a zombie before the sunrise. On day 43 I set up a way to squeeze more money out of one of my tenants. I use the trapped zombie to turn him. Then I separate the two before I use a splash potion of weakness on the zombie tenant and treat him with a golden apple. On day 44 I squeeze my tenants twice and this has greatly reduced the prices and time I need to farm. I do realize I'm out of golden apples, so I name tag the zombie and leave for the nether. I spent the rest of the day mining for gold in the nether. On day 45 I squeeze my farmer one last time and move on to other villagers, mainly librarians. Normally you see hot librarians on the internet. They are interesting, but they have nothing on Minecraft librarians. The Minecraft librarians have a hot nose, good book trades and a way to get infinite money. It works like this: you turn and cure a librarian with bookshelf trades and book trades. Once you have done this at least twice, you'll see that he sells a bookshelf for 1 emerald. But wait, he also buys one book for 1 emerald. So what you do is constantly buy bookshelves, break them, sell the books and repeat. And that is how you get infinite money. Between day 46 and 50, I completely focus on netherite mining. I start mining down at Y level 14. I use F3 and G to show the chunk borders. I mine long tunnels alongside chunk borders. These tunnels are 4 blocks wide and 2 tall. I make several tunnels and in between I bring all my materials back and put them in chests. During the mining I use my Silk Touch pickaxe to mine the gold. With the use of Silk Touch pickaxe you can pick up the gold ore and smelt it. Smelting gold ore is more efficient than mining it with the fortune pickaxe. Smelting it has a guarantee for 1 gold ingot per ore. If you have mending on your pickaxe, I would recommend mining out the cores for XP. This made sure my pickaxe didn't break during the session. At the end of the session my pickaxe was on full durability even. I've also learned some valuable lessons during the mining session. I've learned that blackstone and gravel override the spawning of ancient debris. But digging out gravel has given me some crazy luck, so my advice is to always dig out the gravel when you come across it. In an hour and a half I've mined 37 ancient debris. This is not the best haul, but there were some inefficiencies, like insisting on taking all the items back. I also didn't have access to the other 2 methods like bed mining and TNT bombing. At the end of the mining session I was pretty happy with my results. It's not enough to make full armor and tools, but it's a start. On day 51 I trade some more with villagers. I follow up with making netherite ingots. With my netherite ingots I can finally upgrade most of my armor and tools. Just 4 more ingots and I have full netherite armor and tools. I spent the rest of the day down at the spider farm gathering XP and adding enchantments. Day 52 and 53 I mostly spent AFK down at the spider farm and using that XP I gained to add enchantments. On day 54 I add the last enchantments onto my tools and armor. My boots don't have all the enchantments, but they will do. The rest of the day I spent farming and selling for more emeralds. On day 55 I trade some more with my villagers. I follow up with preparing some weakness potions and golden apples. I will use these to squeeze more rent out of my villagers. After a 1 week break, I have finally come back to this 100 days project. And of course 1.17 released in that time. Just my luck. I keep playing in 1.16.5 and will convert this world for the next 100 days. Day 56 till 60 were a blur of villages for me. I start these days off by trying to fix my audio, but decided to break. I hate my life. I use all my potions and golden apples up on villages. Man needs more rent, you know. After the squeezing has been finished, I can focus my attention on getting unbelievably rich with the use of the infinite money glitch. I mostly don't stack up on emeralds, but I buy a great amount of other stuff, like enchantment books that I'll probably never use. But it does help with getting all my villagers to the max level. Sadly, didn't get any good enchantments, except for channeling, which is useless to me for now, because I don't have a trident. At the end of these days, I've enchanted my shield for no reason, gathered enough bookshelves to make a small fortune, so these few days were a pretty good success if you ask me. On day 61 I venture out into the nether for some more chunk mining. This carries me into day 62. On day 63 I realized that I don't have enough ancient debris and that I'm one short for my full set. Too lazy to go back for now, I go down into the mine to get some obsidian and coal. I find some diamonds on the way, not that I need them at this point. At the end of the day, I retreat back into the nether to mine for the last piece of ancient debris. On day 64 I added the netherite ingot to my sword and I'm finally in full netherite. This made me very happy. I grab all my gold and head into the nether to get some more e-pearls. I trade all my gold about 28 blocks and I get 0 pearls. That chance must be 1 in 177 billion to get that unlucky. On day 65 I finally return to the overworld and I slay some more endermen and get into an incredibly close encounter with a creeper. A creeper blows up, knocks me into a ravine and I freak out and log out right before I hit the bottom. This was kinda in my favor because there exists this glitch in Minecraft single player that your momentum gets reset when you log out. This means I would take 0 fall damage, but they might have patched that out, so I use an ender pearl in my hotbar to stay safe right before I hit the floor. I am not a big brain, as you can see. On day 66 I brew some more fire res and go into the nether. I try and farm some wither skeleton skulls, but there are just not enough wither skeletons to do so. Thanks, Crimson Forest. Love you, buddy. I spent the rest of the day preparing for the end fight and end busting. On day 67 I chop some wood and start my journey towards the stronghold. On my journey I kill every animal I see for extra food. I run for a really long time till I find the location and dig straight down. On day 68 I finally find the stronghold and the support room. I put my Eyes of Ender in and I'm one short. Just my luck. So I decide to go into the nether to find just a few endermen. My looting 3 sword will surely bring me enough ender pearls, right? After walking through the nether for 35 minutes, I finally find a warped forge which gives me guaranteed enderman spawns. That time in the nether felt like it was 5 hours. I had to walk through the worst biomes like Crimson Forest and its stupid hogs and getting shot in the back by skeletons in Soul Sand Valley, all because 28 blocks of gold gave me 0 ender pearls earlier. I'm convinced I have installed a data pack that lowers my drop rate instead of increasing them. During the journey back I find some endermen just wandering around. I could have used you about 35 minutes ago. I slay them out of spite. I finally make it back to the portal room on day 69. Nice. On day 70 I stand in front of the portal all cool and awesome and hop in to slay the dragon and save the princess. Oh wait, that's Mario. I take out the towers like I demolish homemade ribs. I kill the dragon after a long wait of him just flying around like a wimp. I pick up the dragon egg and go through the portal to the end credits. After skipping the end credits, I grab my ender chest that I accidentally left behind and go back into the end to do some end busting. I'm still in the end on day 71, bridging between end islands in search of end cities, mostly to collect shulker shells and an elytra. I have made an agreement with myself that I won't leave the end till I have found one. The rest of the day is mindlessly walking and bridging. On day 72 I'm still mindlessly bridging till I find an end gate and an end city. So I bridge over to the city to claim the spoils. The rest of the day and the following day is just me beating up shulkers and looting sporadic chests. The rest of day 73 is spent bridging over the void without an elytra, aka a death wish if you ask me. Luckily I'm a person with a good keyboard, so shift will not suddenly die on me when I need it. At the beginning of day 74 I find another end city, and this time it has an end ship flying through the void, so of course I immediately try to build up to it to claim the power of flight. I almost died beforehand, but I clutch with the help of an ender pearl. I eventually make it safely onto the ship and grab the power of flight. I make my first ever flight in this world that wasn't just falling or a person in a chicken costume. I loot the end city like before, killing the shulkers and looting all the chests. On day 75 I fly back towards an end gate I had seen before and I finally go back to the main end island. I make all the shulker boxes I can and leave for the overworld. In the overworld, I start preparing for my next project, so I dig up to the surface and harvest some leaves, and I also mine for a couple of stacks of stone. On day 76 I finish my stone collection and I start trekking back to my village base. In the nether I start construction of a road to the nether fortress which leads back to my village base portal. Eventually I arrive back in the overworld at my village base. I do some small trading, mostly to get some name tags for my up and coming project. Then I track back to the end portal so I can start my project, but I forgot to swipe the enchantment table, so I have to track back to the village base. Finally, back at the end portal, I go in to start my project. On day 77 I go to the edge of the end island and make my way as far down as possible. Eventually I hit the bottom. I place water down so I could build down to the bottom of the world. This is a bit nerve-wracking because you can fall at any point. But luckily I have a elytra, so I should be able to save myself before I die in the unknown causes in the emptiness of space. I make a platform at the bottom of the world where I attach a bridge that's more or less 128 blocks long, made out of half slabs. I had a half slab root on top of it that I slowly fill with water to make my travels a bit safer. On day 78 I'm still busy with putting water on top of the bridge, but I eventually get bored and start making a platform at the end of the bridge. I move my equipment to this area for easy access for further construction. After adding a water roof above the farm, I start construction of the farm from memory. I didn't want to cheat with making this farm, so I rebuilt the design from memory. In hindsight, not the best idea, but I'm stubborn. On day 79 I sign my name tag and go back to the end island to collect some ender pearls. When I get back, I make a little box at the top of the water roofs with some rails on the floor. I keep throwing myself to the floor with the use of ender pearls just to get a single endermite. I eventually get it and put it in a minecart, but I didn't name tag it beforehand, so I needed to break the minecart to tag him so he wouldn't despawn. So I break the minecart and name tag him, but when I tried to put him back in the minecart, he hit me and died to my Torm's armor. Motherfucker! So this time I craft some iron armor so it wouldn't die, and I go back again. After a few head smacks, I have end mice and he will be stuck on his own spot of doom for the rest of time. Disclaimer, headphone users be careful, endermen are incoming in mob cap amounts. On day 80 I can finally start the construction on the spawned platforms. It's a big stone platform with some leaves around it. The leaves help with group spawning, if I remember correctly. Eventually it sort of works, but it needs some improvements at the chute where they enter. Also enjoy the sound of screaming from Slenderman from here on out. At the end of the day I fixed the entry chute of my pearl grinder and it's finally functional, I think. Some damage to my ears, to be fair. On day 81 I add the last touches to the farm and start work on watering my bridge so it can bloom nice and long. After 10 minutes it's fully drowned now. So I start on the most important work of all, naming my tools and armor. This will take a couple of days, sadly. With the lovely sound of screaming in the background, I name my boots Almost Boots. This because the boots are a failure and can take on enchantments. Then I name my pants Perfect Legs, cause they are hot AF. I follow up by naming my chest Chest Day, cause everybody should train their mind. Finally, I name my hat Top Hat, because I am a gentleman. Ladies, wink wink. Next up is my elytra, called Drippy Wings. To be honest, I don't know why I called them that. I follow up with calling my sword a failure, cause it's not done. Sword. Next is my bow. I called it Bow of Infinite. -1. Power! I also call my main silk touch pickaxe a Silky Licky, because it licks all the blocks away. Also my fortune axe gives me apples, so axe of apples. And the fortune pickaxe is diamond galore. It speaks for itself. In the next round I called a hoe cheap, even though she made me bankrupt. And I screamed at my fortune shovel for giving me flint. Why? I called my shield me trusty boy. I don't know why, I think it's a dog. Oh wait, cause you can trust and protect from creepers and take the hits. But this one doesn't die like Jeremy? Oh, I said too much. The next hoe I bought was refundable, which is good luck for me cause I called my next shovel Sand Crusher, crusher of sand. According to legend, it eats entire deserts in one massive crunch. The last axe is called Axe of Leaves because it gives you leaves, and that's really pissing me off. And so ends this adventure at the Ender. Don't worry, the screams will be back. And not just in your nightmares, but also in mine. On day 83, I'm back at the village base to grind some emeralds at the Row of Doom. On day 84, I'm on the hunt for sword enchantment books. These are very necessary to make my not done sword not a failure. Also, I want sharpness enchantments on my axes. It's just so satisfying sometimes. At the end of the day, I add sharpness 5 to my axes just for sweet old killings. Day 85 is just more emerald grinding and the search for knockback, which just doesn't want to show up. I give up on villagers and go enjoy the nightmarish noise of my Ender. But I forgot lapis, so I have to find knockback the next day. On day 86, I'm enjoying Slender Screams whilst enchanting books in search of knockback too. I eventually get it, and thanks to the levels I have been collecting, I could make not done sword less of a failure. I go back to the village base where I mine for a little while. On day 87, I have enough of mining and I want to go back to the surface, but I find an absolutely massive cave. I didn't know the 1.18 update got rolled into the 1.17 update. Well, you learn something new every day. I finished the day off by doing some useless chores. I stand AFK on day 88 and do some emerald farming. I end up back at the Ender Adder on day 89 to destroy my ears. Just kidding, I'm here to make a mother load of diamond pickaxes and shovels. Why, you may ask? I don't know. I need to do something before I switch and build a new base in the next 100 days. Go watch it. On day 90, I'm almost done with making the tools, but I need to go back to the villager base to get the efficiency 5 books to finish the lot. The rest of the day and most of the next day is me farming the books for the tools. I eventually return to the reason why I'm deaf now, to finish what I had started on day 91. On day 92, I enchant the last tools and leave the deathmaker machine and return home-ish. I sort my shulker boxes and farm emeralds, cause why shouldn't you? I become a lumberjack on day 93. Every man needs his own strong wood. Yes, I'm immature. At night I farm, drumroll please, emeralds. If you guessed right, leave a spot of doom in the comments. I farmed steaming hot rods on day 94 and tried hunting for wither skeletons, but my fortress was trash and I also couldn't find another one. On day 95 I stare at a wall. I trade and I stare at a window. Yeah, how exciting. I mine a bit on day 96 before going back to the surface. On the surface I start construction of a sign saying 100 days. I finish it halfway through the night. I spend the rest of the night killing creepers for some sweet gunpowder. I start day 97 off by making some fireworks. Then I craft dispensers before making a treasure redstone mechanism for fireworks. I clean up the environment at night to make the area with the sign look a bit better. On day 98 I hook up my redstone to a button so I can enjoy the fireworks on day 100. I also see that the ass is standing the wrong way, so I correct that. The rest of the day is spent cleaning up the area. At night I grow a forest in the background of the sign and I also do the last emerald farming. I promise. On day 99 I add some decor in the pit where the sign stands. I also place Richard next to the button so he can enjoy the fireworks. I end the night off by making a map of the area and placing it down next to Richard. On day 100 I enjoy my fireworks show with my dog. I fly to several locations to shave the chunks so I can show them better at the end of the video. I end the last day off by standing on my roof and watching the sun and moon set for the last time this video. Oh my god, I'm so happy that I finished this. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it wasn't the best video, but I tried my best. Please leave a like and make suggestions in the comments. That will help me so much. I know I've made some mistakes, mostly with my voice and subtitles. I hope that didn't distract you too much. I officially give you the go ahead to burn me for it in the comments. I hope I'm able to bring out the next 100 days soon and that you will enjoy that one way more than this one. Let's say I have some big plans for it. I mostly hope I inspired you to go play Minecraft yourself and let your creativity go wild. It took me so long to make this video, and I'm so happy that you made it to the end of the video. I love you all so much for that. I wish you all a happy day, and I hope my content brightened your day a little bit.